Hey there, it's Jenny, and I am here today to share with you how I planned this week in my memory planner. I am back in a Happy Planner memory keeping planner, so it's an undated big planner with some added twists. You can see that I go ahead and write down the photos that I'm going to use for each date. Then I print them out on my Canon Selfie. I also add the dates to the little strips that tear off, just to make sure that I get them where I want them to go. If at all possible, I like to keep the photos on the days that they happened, but I am not really rigid about that. I am willing to let things move around, particularly if it's a spot in my home or my pets or something like that, that it doesn't really truly matter. I have been tracking the COVID information from my county all year long. So I have another one of those this week. I've also been doing a lot of tracking of the Apple News that I get in my email every day. If it has a headline that I think will be interesting over time. So those are some of the types of things that I include other than just like, oh, this happened today, this baseball game, this is my dog, this is what we have for dinner. Those types of things, obviously, I include, but I also find other things to include, and I feel like the COVID stuff is going to be super memorable in the future. I need to add the dates, and so I'm using this Happy Memory Keeping sticker book to do that at the top. I don't love an undated planner, and I'll explain why. At first, it seems really great, right? Because there's lots of options. But for me, it then feels like one more thing I have to do in order to get down to the business of planning. And so I feel like, oh my gosh, all right, I gotta do that. So I've really sort of tried to just take any focus off of it at all right now, just to make sure that I'm getting the memory planning finished. I lay the photos out where I'd like them to go, where I think that they're going to look best in relationship to the other photos. So none of these photos are standalone. They all work together. And so I want the design of the page to look right. And that means that the photos have to do that. So as you can see here, I have a ton of photos, and these are not like, oh my gosh, 16 photos of one smiling child. No, it's a lot, a lot of things from around. And again, like I said, because I include COVID stuff, it's definitely, there's a lot of things right now. And so I do my best to layer and stagger and create clusters when I can. I also punch photos into circles sometimes as well, just to try to make it a little bit smaller. And also I think that, like for the circles example, I like them. I like how they look in the planner. And so it's just another way that I do that. So you can see I'm using a Scotch ATG gun for my adhesive. I've explained this a gazillion times, but if you're new here, the adhesive is super strong, so it's not going anywhere. And if you're thinking, that's a little bit of overkill, I promise you it's not. I've been scrapbooking 20 years, and not all adhesive is created the same in terms of longevity. So you can see there's tons of overlap, and I'm just really being cognizant of that, not covering up any important things, but empty space, white space, maybe like, okay, so you took a picture and there's a big portion of the couch. I can cover that up. It's no big deal. I don't need, a length of my couch showing in the photo if I was taking a picture of my son or my dog or whatever. So that's how we do that. Obviously, I tear off the dates as well. They're meant to come off in these photos, like there's an edge on both sides that is meant to come off. So right there, that's the circle punch I use most often. Sometimes I use a smaller one, but I find that this one really ends up being about the right size for the big Happy Planner. So that's how I work things out there. Now, I have been so happy with that I've kept track of the COVID stuff for the past year. I've been using this exact same graphic that my county puts out on their website, and an updated information every day. And once or twice a week, I try to include that information, and it has been amazing to go back and look at over the course of the last year. And it's not been quite a year that they've been updating that information, maybe like 9 or 10 months, but it's been fantastic. Now that I've got the photos all down, I'm going to go ahead and start decorating. This is the same steps that I usually take. Sometimes I'll go crazy and like do things out of order or whatever, but by and large, most of the time I do things in the same way. So I'm going to start by decorating. And I was thinking I was going to use that Stronger Together sticker book, but I changed my mind and decided to use this Womankind one instead because I wanted to use the florals that were in it. And I figured that Stronger Together was better for the following week with International Women's Day. So it just worked out fine for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out 3 main focal points, as I always do, to create a visual triangle for my decor. I don't follow that same thing for the plans or for my photos, only the decoration. And I find that it helps make the overall page more beautiful and more cohesive. Now I'm going to take this square square sticker and layer it with this Hello Weekend. And those weekend stickers were the ones that I'm most drawn to in this book. I just love the typography and how the overall appearance of each of the stickers. And so I knew I kind of wanted to layer it with that square photo. And the reason that I flip through my photo books as opposed to pulling out all the stickers ahead of time is that I want you to know some of my process. And if I pulled these out, I wouldn't have the opportunity to talk to you about why I chose those. So right there, I chose that small floral sticker because I needed a third piece to anchor that little cluster. And I wanted something small and I wanted something organic, and that fits with the florals. Now I'm going to do the same thing up in this upper box. I'm going to create a triangle of the flowers. So you have the big one that's cut in half, and then you have 2 smaller little clusters, and those create a triangle as well. And remember, that's just going to be one of the anchor points for the triangle, the visual triangle of the overall page. I know it seems really confusing. It's really actually not, and it really becomes second nature. Now this sticker, I love it. It's got some text on it. It's super cute, and I'm layering it with that flower as well. I just wanted to add a little bit more, give it a little bit more meat right there in that cluster, as opposed to it just being that box sticker. Because again, it's classic size, and the classic size stickers are a little bit small in those big boxes. Okay, so once the major parts of the decor are finished for the majority of the weeks, now I can go ahead and add the plans. So I will add boxes, and not always boxes. If there was a day where there was like 6 or 7 things going on, I may not use boxes for every single thing. However, I will in a week like this where, you might have 1, sometimes 2 things going on in a day. And so it works out fine to just go ahead and use stickers. Though I will tell you, I do prefer alternating them. And I talk about this a lot in my regular functional planner. I just prefer mixing up the writing on stickers and the writing directly on the pages. I honestly think it looks better and I prefer it. So it works out better for me most of the time. But in my memory planner, things are a little bit different because I don't include anywhere near as much stuff. Like I don't add my to-dos or work to-dos or things like that. And so there's really just significantly less to include in terms of plans. Now I'm leaning on all of the colors from this sticker book for a couple of reasons. One, you have the variety of stickers like in that striped sticker underneath the Hello Weekend. So, I mean, obviously there's no holds barred there. And then 2, I really wanted this to be a colorful week. I didn't want it to be anywhere near a monochromatic week. And so this allows me to do that by just shaking up all of the box stickers and using all of the colors as opposed to leaning on just 1 or 2 of them. And luckily for me, in this sticker book, there are many, many different colors of the stickers. So that's how I usually start. I start by just going ahead and putting down the stickers each day that I need something. Then I can go back and I can fill those stickers in. And I like to do this just because I like to get the visual of what it looks like with the stickers on the page before I add the text. It's just another way for me to take a look at the layout, see if it needs anything else, see if I prefer a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that before I go ahead and write the plans in the stickers. And you can see that sometimes I overlap those plans, like the box stickers, for example. I overlap them with the photos, and sometimes they don't touch the photos at all. But I keep it varied from day to day and each side of the layout to another. It really has a lot to do with space as much as it does with just overall aesthetic or design of the layout. Now this page had so many photos on it that I almost couldn't not overlap at least some of the photos. For example, on Tuesday, how I have that box sticker on Tuesday. I mean, there really just wasn't anywhere else for it, and so it made sense to put it over the sky, as that wasn't an integral part of the sticker, or I'm sorry, of the photo, and a part of the story of the photo that I was looking for to tell. For example, like it's of my dog and my son like on the side of the pool. And so it didn't matter if I covered up a little bit of the sky. Okay, so now that's 2 of the 3 parts that I almost always include. So I've included the photos, I've included the activities, and now I need to make a little bit of room for the journaling. And especially in a week like this, I have to be very, very cognizant of where I will have a little bit of room to add some journaling. I don't have to have a ton, and especially in weeks like this, there just isn't room for that. But I have to make sure to leave a little bit of space to tell a couple of stories. I've been enjoying using the mild liners to make the lines as opposed to just using my black pen, which I have always loved. I love the contrast of the black and the white on the paper, and I really think it gives it a lot of really great pop. I'm just having a lot of fun with the mild liners though, and so I go ahead and I do that. So I do use the ruler to draw the straight lines for the mild liners, and I just find it adds more color, which is what I'm definitely going for each week, just to add some pops of fun. And I just love the way it looks, and I will probably grow tired of it at some point, but for right now, I'm really enjoying it. And you can see I had a little tiny bigger space there on Thursday and Friday to add some journaling. That is it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.